Hi guys, so this is a video about how to solve basic quadratic equations. Now, before we start, first thing you need to know is that you need to be able to factorize a quadratic expression. So factorizing quadratic expressions you need to be able to do that before you before you look at this really. So I'm not going to go into how we factorize them in much detail in this video, so have a look back at how to factorize quadratic expressions, because really that's the hard part of this. Once you're able to do that, the new bit that's in this video isn't actually that hard. So just look for a second anyway. I just want you to think for a second. If I had any number, okay, so if I had the number 8 multiplied by some other number and I knew that the answer was 0, okay, so what would that number have to be? So if you try to think about it, if you put a 1 in there, a 2 in there, a 3 in there, any number, what would it have to be in order for the answer to be 0? There's no whole number that would work. The only number you could have is 0. Alright, same way as I had some number multiplied by 11 equals 0, okay, what number would that have to be? Again, it would have to be 0. So basically, if you know one of the numbers, then the other one has to be 0 if the answer equals 0. So if you know already that the answer has to equal 0. Alright, so that's just important. That's really kind of why this works, what we're going to look at now. If you have two numbers and when you multiply them together the answer is 0, basically one of them has to be 0. Either that number has to be 0 or else that number has to be 0. So just try to bear that in mind. So let's just have a look at our examples here anyway. So solving quadratic equations, factorize into two brackets. Then one of the brackets must equal 0, so split into two possible outcomes and solve both equations. We're actually going to get two answers for these, so for most of them anyway, we're going to get two possible answers. So let's look at the first one. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to factorize it, and this is what I was saying. You need to you need to have practiced before you look at this video. But you're looking for two numbers here that would multiply to give you 99 and that would add together to give you 20. So if you think about the two numbers, it has to be 9 and 11, because positive 9 and positive 11. 9 multiplied by 11 would give you 99. 9 plus 11 would give you 20. So the answer has to be 9 and 11. Now this isn't just a quadratic expression though, this is a quadratic equation because it has an equal 0 at the end. Now try and think about what I was just saying before. X plus 9, really that's just a number, x plus 9, we don't know what it is. And x plus 11, that is just another number. So really what you have here is you have two numbers being multiplied by each other, x plus 9 and x plus 11, which would equal 0. So a number multiplied by another number equaling 0. Therefore, in one of those boxes, one of them has to be 0. So what we're getting at here is one of the sets of brackets, what's inside them has to equal 0. So either x plus 9 equals 0, or, and this is where we split then, x plus 11 equals 0. One of those things has to be true. Either x plus 9 equals 0 or x plus 11 equals 0. Therefore, because x plus 9 equals 0, we get a little one-step equation there. So minus 9 minus 9. So x has to be equal to minus 9. If x plus 11 equals 0, we subtract 11, subtract 11. So x equals minus 11. Therefore, either x equals minus 9 or x equals minus 11. So we get two possible answers there, minus 9 or minus 11. So like what I was saying, we usually get two answers with these. Let's have a look at the second one here then. Now this one has minuses in it, so it makes it a little bit harder to factorize at the start. But I'm looking for two numbers that would multiply to give me minus 8 here, and would sum to give me minus 7. So I could have 2 and 4, or I could have 1 and 8, so it has to be 1 and 8 here, because they have a difference of 7. And then the 8 has to be negative for it to work, so 1 take away 8 is minus 7, 1 multiplied by minus 8 is minus 8. So, like before, we're going to get two possible answers. One of those brackets has to equal 0, either the x plus 1 or the x minus 8. If x plus 1 equals 0, subtract 1, so x equals minus 1, or move the 1 across, whatever way you've learned it before. If the x minus 8 equals 0, then we add 8, so x equals 8. So either x equals minus 1 or x equals 8, positive 8. So those are my two possible answers for example 2. And there's no way of choosing between the two answers then. It's equally likely to be either one. So you're always going to give the two of them as two possible answers when you're asked in exams and things. So this one then, there's two questions here. So if you want to actually pause the video and just have a go at both of them and then play it on, and I'll go through the answers for you. So first one here, x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0. So I'm going to factorize the part on the left hand side first, so x and x. So two numbers that would multiply to give me 12 but would also sum to give me 7 are plus 3 and plus 4. So then we've got two possible answers, so either x plus 3 equals 0 or x plus 4 equals 0. If x plus 3 equals 0, well then x has to equal minus 3. If x plus 4 equals 0, well then x has to equal minus 4. So x equals minus 4. That's our answer to the first one. Question 2, x squared plus 5x minus 36. So we start by setting out our double brackets again and are equals 0. So two numbers that multiply to give minus 36, so it's a minus 36 here, and would sum to give us positive 5. So if we think for a second about it, it's going to be positive 9 and minus 4. So 9 multiplied by minus 4 would give me minus 36. 9 plus minus 4, or 9 just take away 4, it has to equal positive 5. Therefore we get two answers again. So x plus 9 equals 0 or x minus 4 equals 0. Therefore subtract 9, so x equals minus 9, or add 4, so x equals positive 4. So our two possible answers there are minus 9 and positive 4.